All right, everybody. So welcome to the Growth Mastermind Group Zoom call, hosted every Sunday at 8 p.m. by myself, Tony, and Peter. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Ken Honda. So as always, we read a quick little bio here. Ken Honda has sold more than 7 million copies of his books. From his financial experience as owner and director of several companies, his writings are halfway between finance and personal development, with special attention to how to create and foster personal wealth and happiness through self-analysis. So with that, guys, I give you Ken Honda.
Yay. Hey, everybody. Hi. I'm so excited to be here. And since I do big events and talk to the computer, and I usually have an audience about 30,000 to 500,000 people view my Facebook Live or video. So I'm always feeling lonely in my room. I mean, I'm stuck in this room, which is beautiful. It's in Kyoto. But since I can talk with you more privately, I'm very happy to answer whatever the questions you have. And so you expect me to share about happy money first before I take questions?
You know, I think that would be amazing, Ken, because I'm sure you have a lot of fans here everywhere we're streaming and here on the call. That would be a real treat. I actually started reading it. I'm about halfway through. Fascinating book. I absolutely love it. And I'm sure our audience would also like to know more.
Okay, thank you. So let me just share with you my background. I was born in Kobe, Japan, and my father was a very successful accountant. And he thought he needs to teach us, and my brother and also my sister, about finances and money since we were very little. So I was 8 or 9, and he took me to shopping mall, and he asked me which store makes most money. And I thought it's a fish market because a lot of cash is, transaction, and a lot of people are in there. And he said, what about the store next door? And they were selling futons, mattresses. And there's nobody there. So like, I don't know. And how about the one right next to it? It's a real estate agent. Of course, there's nobody. And so I thought fish market, definitely. But he said, but think about it. If you just sell a mattress, you can just live on the income for a week. And if you sell a house, you can live on the income for months. So it's just a matter of how many customers and how much. So those are the little things that he used to teach me. And since then, I got curious about money. So I've studied my quest for money. And also around the same time, my father's best friend committed suicide because of money. His client came to him for advice and also asked for some loan, but he didn't want to give his best friend and also client money because that money will go directly to loan sharks. And he's a Japanese guy who doesn't talk so much, so he didn't tell that in advance because his way of saying it, his way of doing things is like he does everything quietly. But as a result, he got my father's best friend got desperate and not only killed himself. Before he killed himself, he killed his family and he killed himself. That's called family suicide. So one time I came back home from school and my father was crying like a baby, and I never thought guys, samurai guys never cry. I thought, in fact, guys are not capable of crying. So that was a big shock for me. And my mother took me aside and to the living room, and she explained to me what happened. So that was the first time when I heard the term family suicide. It's in our culture, in order to avoid the disgrace and also a shame of going bankruptcy, not only killing yourself, but save your entire family by killing them, which is a crazy idea. But it was like almost 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago. So it was not so uncommon. And since then, I thought money could kill people. So it left an imprint that money could be very scary. And since then, I've studied more about money because one day when I have my family, I have to make sure that I have enough so my family doesn't have to go through this. And later on, I became a consultant and I have studied so many wealthy people. And I discovered there are two kinds of people, happy ones and not so happy ones. And in fact, later on, I just wrote I wrote a book called How an Ordinary Person Became a Millionaire. And through this discovery, I realized there are two kinds of relationship with money. One is happy one, and the other one is unhappy one. So I wrote a book, Happy Money, based on that. And happy money is money that gives you joy when you receive it. And also you feel good when you spend it. That's happy money. And unhappy money, unfortunately, 96 or 7% of us are in this flow of unhappy money. That is, when we receive it, we feel frustrated. Like, I can't make both ends meet with this little salary. And also when we pay bills, pay taxes, also we feel scared, frustrated, and angry and upset and feel we are treated very poorly. So that is unhappy money. And what's interesting is that it's not how much money you make or how much money you have. It's about how you interact with people and also money. So later on also in this search for money secrets, I met an incredible person whose name is Wahei Takeda, who's called Warren Buffett of Japan. And he's one of the most wealthy Japanese people. And he said, the secret to money is to arigato your money. That means appreciate your money. And I just couldn't get it. I just wanted to get some stock tips or like quick ways to make money. But he said, the first step is thank your money, always. And he said, oh, there are actually two things. Thank your money when it comes in and thank your money when it leaves. That means when you receive money or check, you just say, thank you for coming to me. And also when you have to pay, at the restaurant or pay bills, you also say, thank you for staying with me and go bless the world. That was his attitude. And he's saying, you cannot focus two things at a time. Our mind is not made that way. So either you focus on appreciation or you focus on worries and fears. So once you focus on appreciating more about money, you start focusing on love and friendship and appreciating what you have in your current life. And this appreciation opens doors to new possibilities. That's why he said, arigato your money first, and then the rest will follow. So I followed his advice, and I ended up getting married, and also I had a beautiful baby girl who is now 22. And when my wife and I found that she was pregnant, we decided to have some time off. And I thought it just a couple months, but it ended up 4 years. So I focused on just raising our daughter for 4 years. And during the 4 years of my semi-retirement, which is from my 29 to 33, I got this inspiration to start writing books, which is crazy because I was a law major and accounting major student. And I didn't know I could write, but the urge and the inspiration was so big. So I went to a bookstore and I pick up a book, like How to Become an Author. And I did the checklist, like, did you love books when you were little? No. Are you good at writing? No. And I just, I said, check, and everything was no. So my possibility of becoming an author is zero. And my dream of becoming an author just lived only like 3 minutes. And then I forgot, yeah, of course. But after like a couple months and a few months, this inspiration came to me almost like an obsession. So I started writing a booklet, actually like a 3-page or 4 pages of what I think you can do with money. My friend loved it. So I just, stapled a few pages and started giving it to everybody. And then by word of mouth, they wanted more. So I said, no, you can just copy whatever you want. But no, but I just want your signature. I just want to be given like a legit copy. I said, okay. So I started copying, and then that just got like fire. And I ended up printing 3,000 copies because this salesperson was so good. He persuaded me into printing 3,000 instead of 200 I originally wanted, because he said the cost of this whole package is mostly paper. So like 500, 3,000, not much difference. I said 3,000. So I ordered 3,000 copies, which came 2 weeks later with 2 trucks. And I had to come up with excuses to my wife why so many boxes of my booklets are here because of this shrewd businessman said, 3,000 is cheaper. And she went crazy, but I said, I'm so sorry. I'm going to just give it away to anybody who wants a copy. So give me like 3 months. And she said 1 month. And then I just started just giving away my booklets like crazy. And by the time, a few weeks later, I just got rid of all the boxes. And but by word of mouth, people wanted more and more. So I printed more. And this time I was smarter. So I rented a place. And by the time I gave away 100,000 copies, a publisher called me and asked me to write a book, which is 20 years ago. And since then, I have published more than 50 some books and sold about, now it's over 8 million copies. And then I've been talking about happiness and how to find happiness and peace with money, and how to find your gifts, and how to monetize it is my forte. So I've been helping and inspiring people ever since, and mostly in Japanese till last year. And last year I got this another inspiration of writing a book in English, which I did. And now it's been translated into 20 some languages, and it's now being sold at around 40 countries in the world, and Greece, Polish, and Spanish, and Mongolian, and Chinese, and all the languages. So I'm so excited to share what I know, and happy to answer any questions you have about money and how to find peace with money.
That's awesome. I want to ask you too, like, where do you say, where would you think your main inspiration came to make that transition from like entrepreneur, businessman into writing?
There are a series of events during my semi-retirement. It was a dot-com bubble in 99 and 2000. So money just was pouring in. But I had a funny dream. In my dream, my daughter, who was just a 1.5, like 2 years old, well, she was a teenager. She was chewing gum and piercing everywhere. And she said, Daddy, you may have some money, but that's not what counts, because you're not helping anybody. And then I had such a acute pain in my chest, like, oh, I'm not helping anybody. So she said, I'm a garbage. And then I woke up, and then she's like, little 2 years old. And I made up my mind, I want to do something so she would respect me. It doesn't matter how much money I have, or, how much money I make. It's about the respect. So I seriously thought, I think it's probably my subconscious, that I have to do something to help people, not just help myself or my family. So that's when I started giving free counseling session for anybody who wants to know about money. That became a sort of like a basis of catalyzing, crystallizing my ideas of how to find peace.
That's excellent. And one thing I did want to ask you as well, I know we have a lot of people here in the room, or actually in our group as well, that
Mhm.
they trade in the stock market, or maybe like even like Bitcoin and these sort of investment vehicles.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, in the context of happy money, would you consider that sort of investing, whether it's long-term investing, day trading, cryptocurrency, like all these things, would this be considered more like happy money, or how would you view that sort of investing?
I have, because as you know, Japan is the second largest market for cryptocurrency. So I have at least a dozen or more millionaires now who used to be just regular people. And I have done my research on the people who won lottery and just millions of dollars, and how ended up, how they at least shift their lives. And it doesn't really matter how of your trade, it's how you deal with money. So for example, I have two people who made millions in cryptocurrency. One person sold everything and just switched it to the other cryptocurrency from Bitcoin, because he invested something like 10,000 US dollars, and then he ended up having $5 million worth of Bitcoin. So he flipped it to the other coin, and then that crashed. So his $10,000 ended up 5 million and then zero. Oh. But the tragedy is that the tax office came, and they're claiming that $5 million you have to make, you have to pay a certain amount of taxes for that. So he ended up selling other things to pay the taxes. That's one person. So the other one, who also ended up getting $2 million, and she was so appreciative of just getting this quick cash. So she just withdrew the money and just turned it into a Japanese yen and paid certain taxes she owed, and then started her own company selling soaps for your smooth, for your skin care. And she is doing fine, because her vision was to make to support people, help people. But the other guy, in his mind, is like, just growing your money fast and quick. So he ended up losing everything. And on the other hand, even though they made the same kind of money in a similar way, but their vision and their hearts are in a different place. That's why she's now happy with more money, more clients, and she's super happy with doing what she loves. So it's about your attitude. And if your attitude is you have to have more, usually it's almost like doing scissors and rocks with a devil. As long as you keep winning, the devil is going to double your assets, and then if you lose, they're going to take it all. So that's the deal, especially in investing and day trading. So you have to know when and how much is enough. Otherwise, you just get stuck in this hell of wanting more. It's almost like drifting in water, in the sea, and you just start drinking seawater. It makes you more thirsty. So the more you drink, the more you want to drink. So you have to really know to satisfy and when and how much is enough. So it's more attitude.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And with the book too, there's a lot of things that you touched on that I could, completely agree with. The different people when it comes to money, like the saver, the spender, the gambler. Yes. And it's funny, I could kind of relate to these and being a little bit of these across the board, because that's how my parents were. Like sometimes they would just splurge and spend a lot of money. Most of the time, unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of money. So there was a lot of saving and penny pinching, so to speak. But one thing I noticed too that I could really attribute to especially like Western culture is how people have this mentality of keeping up with the Joneses, which you mentioned. It's like, okay, I have a brand new Honda, perfect. I love it. And then your neighbor gets a brand new BMW. Oh, I need the BMW. You get the BMW. The other neighbor gets the Porsche. I need. But where do you think that comes from? Is it something psychological? Is it, like ego, or what do you think that comes from?
Yeah, I think it's just a little kid, mentality. We haven't changed since our fourth grade. I had this fortune of meeting all the millionaires in Japan and in the world. And I once interviewed a very wealthy guy, and he said, I wanted to know when did these people start feeling wealthy? It's first million or 2 millions. And I was so shocked to find out that this guy, super millionaires, he said, I don't feel wealthy at all. And I asked him why. He said, I don't have a private jet. I fly first class, but that's it. And what, do you have to have a private jet to feel wealthy? And a few months later, I had this opportunity to meet a guy with a private jet and ask him, do you feel wealthy? No, he said, no, I'm comfortable, but I'm not wealthy at all. And ask him why? Because my private jet is small and it seats only 6 people. So whenever he pulls over his, Mercedes to his private jet, he's like a little plane, and there's huge plane like Donald Trump or all the super wealthy people, aboard. So they feel very small in this, airport. So like, oh, my jet only seats 6 people. So no matter how much money you have, you feel smaller because there's always a bigger fish. So you really have to know uh, what's enough for you. So the ideal situation is I have more than enough, and then that grows. I have more than enough, and then that sort of like pours out of your container. That's why I teach people how to grow your money container. Everyone was born with a certain size money container, and you can grow it, and also you can just shrink it. But it's your life. If you help more people, money container will grow because more people want to pay you more. So by receiving more, your money container grows. So that's the cycle. But if you just do it too quickly, it's going to break your money container. I know, I'm sure many of you know some people who got quick cash from inheritance or car accident or whatever, and then their life gets crashed, or they got a crack in their money container, and that really mess a lot of people.
Absolutely. Peter, did you have any questions as well? No, we're almost at the halfway point, so I wanted to leave in some questions for the folks here. And did you have any questions yourself?
Sure, definitely. Well, I was wondering, from the happy money point of view, what will be the advice for an entrepreneur in this type of environment that we're living right now with this pandemic and everything that's happening, to kind of progress, shift, or their perception about money?
Mm-hmm. I think this situation is initiating to impact our psyche that we're all connected globally, and also locally we're connected too. So this is a great opportunity for all of us to awaken to new level of togetherness, connectedness, or we are going to separate ourselves, which is happening a lot, not only in North America but in the world, because we have more than 100 some countries, but most of our borders are closed. If you knew it, I cannot fly to US easily, or Europe or China, because you have to be quarantined for 2 weeks, and if you don't have a special reasons, probably you are not admitted to the country, even with or without COVID. So this is an interesting time. Are you going to hide in your little apartment and then just pray that this storm is going to go away? But I think it's going to stay with us for a while. All the vaccination, I'm writing on the book on vaccination, and AstraZeneca, Johnson and Johnson, Eli Lilly, they all stopped, just continuing on testing on regular people. The only leftover is Russian and Chinese. So it's almost like a Russian roulette. I'm willing to take the risk of becoming the first penguin. So I think in this environment, do you want to shrink? Do you want to expand? That means if you have more than enough, if you feel like you have more than enough, you can share what you have, both emotionally, mentally, and financially with other people. So I'm encouraging all my friends who have more than enough to share their money with their friends and the people, strangers, because this is a time that we have to help one another. But at the same time, it's so sad to see we are so divided. It's not only U.S. I think it's everywhere, because we are afraid. So are we going to melt all the fear with our love and friendship, or are we going to be separating ourselves from the world because we want to make sure that we are okay? So once again, after 80 years of the World War II, are we going to another world of being separate from the world and try to stay safe? Or are we willing to share what we have? And and try to get through this with everybody. So I think that's what happy money comes in. If you feel like you have more than enough, you can share. But if you feel like you don't have enough, you feel hesitant, you feel worried, and you feel frustrated when you share.
Wow. Do you think, like, I'm going to ask one more question, then I'm going to let everybody to ask their questions. So in that way, we can allow everybody to put a question. If you were starting from the beginning, from the standpoint of you, again, as a happy mindset, what you will do right now? You will do the same thing that you did until now, or you will change stuff in your life, or what kind of business will you start?
Now, I wanted to test my abundance level and abundance mentality. So I decided to just give away what I had. So I came up with $1 million and printed my booklets, and I started giving away for free. So I started giving away for free, and I said in the back of the booklet, I'll just give a copy to anybody who wants one. And now you can download it from my website in English. So I gave a physical copy to everyone, and it cost me at the beginning $10,000 US and $30,000 US, and then at the peak, because everybody wants a copy, I had to pay $85,000 US a month for printing and handling. And like, oh my God, at this rate, I'm going to go bankrupt soon. But I just made up my mind then, okay, it's going to be fun if I'm going to be in the news. This funny guy, who retired for his baby girl, ended up filing bankruptcy because of giving too much. I think it's a fun news. So I said, okay, I'm going to just go till I drop. So I just kept on going and paid another 50,000, and I actually gave away 2 million copies in total. Now it's on PDF, but in this process of giving, I learned how to trust. So what's interesting is that the stocks I invested in, they went IPOs, and then I got thank you money from everybody I met. So like it paid it all. And then my book started selling. I sold about 8 million copies. That itself translates into 10 million US dollars. So I gave away 2 million US dollars for my gift to the world, and I got like 10 times and more by receiving. So I think I'll just start giving away something I have, and I just make sure that everybody who is willing to receive will get it. So that is my commitment. And also it's in English too. So for my Christmas campaign, I'm going to announce that I'm going to give away my Happy Money book to 10,000 people worldwide. So I'm going to start giving in US and Japan, and start just doing more. Because of the postage situation is kind of funny. You cannot ship it to Australia. It's still closed because they believe that virus will be on with the boxes. So, but anyway, so I'd be focusing on giving away, because if you have that trust, you can find enough clients to get going. So I think it's a key.
That is amazing, and I'm sure a lot of people definitely appreciate that generosity. And guys, his book Happy Money is actually on Audible. I've been listening to it every morning, driving to and from work, in the gym. Great book, very addicting, and I think it's definitely something that everybody should listen to or read in here. So we did have a question actually from Christian that I think I overlooked. Sorry, Christian. He asks, how would you know when to stop if you are driven by your passion?
I think passion and addiction are a little tricky to tell the difference. If it's a passion, you can stop. If it's addiction, you cannot stop. For example, I have a passion for writing, and I'm publishing every month now. I have an online bookstore. I have about 20,000 membership. People pay $10 a month, and then they get a online, ebook a month. So I'm always writing, but My wife or my daughter speaks to me, we made a rule that I'm gonna just close the computer screen in 2 seconds. Whatever I did, I stop it because they're more important than my work. So that's a message. So they know that I'm gonna stop anytime. So they rarely, disturb me when I'm writing. But so that's what I do. So I can stop, and if it's a workaholic or like gambler type of a day trader, you cannot stop because it's some form of addiction. You want to fill your cavity or hole by making more money. So if you feel that you cannot stop, it's almost like alcohol or drug abuse. Money abuse is like highly appreciated somehow in the world. I think it's going to be scorned in 5 or 10 years. Young people they have no interest in money. So millenniums and younger are definitely a new breed. But I think if you can stop, it's okay. But if you have a hard time thinking of business model and just thinking of new projects, you really have to stop. Otherwise, you'll be addicted. And business is busyness, right? So you have to be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. I know people that work very hard, but it's, almost like, I mean, they do extremely well for themselves, millionaires and living the dream and all this stuff. But at the same time, it's like they work so much, 12 hours a day, sometimes 16 hours a day, weekends, barely any time off. So I think it's important to, definitely find some kind of a balance to enjoy the fruits of your labor, so to speak. So yeah, I totally agree with that. And yeah, we have some questions coming in. All right. From Carolina, she asks, how do you apply this philosophy of happy money on a closing sales call?
So the most important thing is give all the information she or he needs and then stop. Let them decide. And then if they know that you're 100% with him or her, they'll make a call. And if it's good for you, if it's good for them, they're gonna buy it. If not, they're not. So your job is make sure that if you as if your client is your best friend or your sister or brother, you wouldn't sell a funny thing to unnecessary thing to your brother or best friend. So if you know in the beginning that this product or service is the best match for this person, and then you with a passion, you don't have to manipulate them. A lot of people don't want to be manipulated or sold. So if you just make sure that you're on their side perfectly, and then make sure that they feel that way. And if they feel like they're not taken advantage of or for financial reason, they trust you. So if they trust you like a doctor, they'll listen, and then just make up my mind for them, but just don't pressure them. I think that's the best result you get, because even if you are good at manipulating people, they feel that they're manipulated. So even they said yes, but they end up not signing the contract. So just make sure that you have the complete trust and also the bonding between you and your client, and then let them decide. Uh, they are the ideal way of selling. So I call it, I used to teach organic marketing and organic sales, because real top people are really on client side. And then it's so natural for them. I call it organic process of closing a sale, because it's almost like a natural thing for them to buy the service because it's the best thing that they experience. So the best salespeople are people with those characters, that immediate trust and also sincere. So you have to control yourself, that you're not working for you, you're working for them. And if you have this little tiny thing like, okay, I'm going to sell this, I'm going to push it to this client and then I'll make a killing, but they're going to fall, so that's not the attitude.
Excellent. I cannot agree with that more. And guys, I hope you're taking notes. So much knowledge you're sharing with us this evening, Ken. I can't thank you enough. Some really, really great stuff here. So guys, definitely take advantage. And all right. And I see we have another question here from Christian. He asks, how did you know what to write about? And what is it that still drives you to write more books?
You know, I often think about it because my father's an alcoholic. So I think I'm addicted to writing books. And I feel very peaceful when I write books. Of course, I can, do without it, but it's almost like taking a walk or either brushing your teeth. You feel funny if you don't brush your teeth and go to bed, right? So it's almost like in my daily thing, it's almost like breathing. So I've never had a writer's block. And my wife teases me because even in my sleep, my hands are shaking a little bit. So like maybe I'm typing in my dream.
Yeah.
So it's so much passion for me, and also speaking too. Actually, I speak more in front of my computer than writing. So I write almost as if I talk. So my writing is very easy in Japanese. I had a third grade, young guy just approached me and said, "Hey, I've read more than 3 books. Your book is very easy, and I feel flattered because this guy is saying your book is easy to read." So
That's awesome. Yeah, I see it in your book too. It just kind of like flows like very naturally, almost like if you're, presenting or giving like a speech or something. It's not choppy. It's very fluid in the way that it's written.
thank you. I cannot write complicated things in English to begin with, and I have a super editor who just made. I asked her, I begged her, please don't use the words I don't know, because editor tends to kind of create words which are like glamorous, but I don't know this word, it's my book. So I think we should change it so any 5th grader can read.
Awesome. That is really great. So we have a lot of questions or you keep coming in. So if you don't mind, yeah,
Please,
let me see here.
this is my honor, and what a great way to start my day like this.
Thank you, sir. We really
Arigato.
appreciate you.
Arigato.
And we have a question here from Auden. He asked, if you didn't have the money you had then when you were on semi-retirement, will you still give away free books? And how will you fund them?
I would come up with different ways. Before spending anything, I always come up with 10 different backup plans. So if I didn't have any money, I would have asked for money first. So I would write short essays on why spreading this message is super, super important. So I would have created something like crowdfunding, just invest $5,000 for me. So I'll give you 3 sessions, and then I'm going to use the money to print the books. So that is the one way of doing it. And I started correspondence courses. So of Money IQ and Money EQ. Money EQ is available in English. Mind Valley is promoting it. So I started doing that to finance the books, gift books. So I can come up with all the different ideas. So I don't have to use my money. I can have other people's money. So to keep going. So even if you have not much in your bank account, don't worry about it. There's money in other accounts. It's not under your name. So just be creative and just there are more people than you can imagine who are willing to help you if you have the right ideas. And actually, all my friends are just looking for ideas to support money, either financially or philanthropically. I can't say the word, as a good person. So.
Absolutely. And actually, I'm glad that you touched on Mind Valley because we have a question from Tangi. She says, I read your books and have done your classes on Mind Valley 2 times. Do you have a personal sessions that are similar to your Mind Valley classes? And is there anything that you recommend to learn about Zen sales and or Zen business?
Actually, I'm writing a book in English, and I'm I need to rush it a little hard to translate a lot of the stuff into English because my marketing of selling 8 million copies is done by word of mouth. So word of mouth is the best tool. And in North America, I think what seems more important is persuasion. But in the process of persuasion, the problem is people feel manipulated. I think the last thing American people want is manipulation from anybody. That's why I think people are having a hard time wearing a mask, which is crazy from our standpoint. But like wearing a mask could be a statement. It's funny because British and French feel the same way. Wearing a mask is almost like a giving up your freedom. I think wearing a mask is the shortcut to freedom, so collectively. But if the thing that you want to be so free, you have to really give and respect to your clients. Your clients can choose 100%. So if you feel like manipulated in any way, they're going to turn off. So you have to have the perfect trust and bonding, and then give all the information. The rest is not your work. The rest is your clients. So even if you say closing statement, if you have enough material and if you have convinced them enough, they're going to beg you to buy from you because it's the best thing for them. So after explaining about what you offer, you can keep silent for a while and then let them decide. And if you are not doing that, I think you're trying to manipulate your clients' will. Your clients have 100% will and also 100% right mind to decide on your information. So those things I want to share. But maybe a little later, after the confusion passes, I think European and American people will realize more that just trying to control each other doesn't work. But right now, people seem to believe that talking louder and just talking over people can win. But it's not. We are losing. All of us are losing by trying to prove our point. So we have to listen to one another is very important. But I think you have to wait another 4 or 5 months after all the chaotic things. I think, by the way, I predicted what's going to happen in my videos. It's been viewed 6 million times here. We're going to experience a lot of hardships for the next few months. So please get ready. It's going to be tough, especially in Europe and America. Because people haven't done enough social distancing and wearing masks, and this COVID is going to go much bigger for the next few months. It's what I feel. I think it's coming. So we really have to learn how to just upgrade our software to a post-corona age. It's the way we do business, the way we relate to money, the way we relate to everybody will be so different. And I've written 3 books already in Japanese about what's coming next. But in short, that's, I think, what's going to happen. Not many people are going to eat out, and the group will be less than 4 or at least 6. So everything will be done that way. So that all the leisure, eating out, all the industry will be different. So you have to adjust and upgrade your business to online and all the other ways.
Absolutely. And already here, in certain parts of Europe already, it's the numbers are getting higher, and actually here in the US as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, certain states are already seeing an uptick in cases. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and French, they already have a curfew, so they cannot go outside after 9 o'clock till 6 a.m. in Paris and 9 other cities. And also Belgium and also Spain and parts of Italy, they're doing the same thing. So it's gonna grow in the next few months, and we have to be realistically ready for that. With the election or not, we have to be ready for that. So.
Absolutely. Okay, and I see we have a question here. It
Yes.
says, why is the Japanese culture and mentality so different from American way of thinking?
I think our society is built on so many different values. You know, our society is valued on trust more. The biggest difference is even a 5-year-old girl can go on subway system in Tokyo, and people are not worried about your daughters or sons go on subway on their own, because if they're lost, they can grab any adults and ask for directions. But if you just do that in New York, you're going to get arrested, right? If you just let your 6-year-old go on their own, because we have enough trust. And the other day, I have a friend saying that they withdrew $400 from ATM, but he was on the phone, so he forgot to get the cash. And the next day, he went to the police station nearby, and his $400 was untouched and just delivered to the police office. And after that, his post, there are like hundreds of posts saying like, I dropped my wallet the other day, and somebody visited my office, personally to give my wallet back. So there are all kinds of things. Social trust is, I think, what you probably lost a few decades ago. I had a friend who's an old lady. New York was like that in 1960s, very safe. It got bad after 80s and 90s. So, but the social trust is such an asset. Once it's lost forever, because you cannot trust anybody. So that is why all the police shooting and all that happened. I don't want to sound political, but I think it's a social trust, and you have to create it in your small circle. If you can trust anybody, and if all people can trust you, you have a better life. But if you have a hard time just trusting a stranger or new clients, and everything has to be done by law, you feel tense all the time. So in North America, I guess it's hard to do anything without a lawyer. And if you cannot you cannot say certain things, and that way I feel sorry, because it's tough to live that way, So, but if you're born and brought up in that culture, I understand how you react to those things. But I think that social trust is something we seriously have to think of rebuilding again after COVID is over. Otherwise, I know we live in hell. And so after maybe next April, the spring, after everything gets calmer, we are going to really do research on which country did what. And all the countries, and also the nationality, the feeling in the air, will really decide how we're going to survive this. We really have to start respecting each other. Otherwise, all of us will end up losing. So I hope, like this vaccination, if all of us can cooperate, maybe it's faster. But it's almost like a race, that who wins, who goes to the goal first. But it's not the race that way. All of us have to come up with a solution globally, but that is right now it's kind of hard to build at the moment. But after that, we really have to start thinking. We are all connected, and respecting each other is the only way to survive this. But I'm not a political candidate, so I shouldn't step on so many toes, because whatever I say in North America could be misunderstood. If I say I like your president, half the people hate me. If I say I don't like your president, the other half will hate me. So I cannot really say much.
No, I know what you mean. Unfortunately, yeah, that's the world we live in today. But I mean, so much wisdom. I can't agree with you more. And all right, guys. So I see we're almost out of time. Your time is just flying. We do have a question from Jonathan Moreno. He asks, "What is the best strategy to start a book project and finish it?"
What project?
Oh, to start a book project.
Book, writing a
Yep.
book?
Mhm.
Okay. So, I used to teach a seminar on how to become an author. I got thousands of students. And what they liked most is when I taught, you have to discover who you are. I think it's really the key. You really have to know who you are. And then the key lies around the most difficult time in your life. If you had a hard time dealing with money, money is your life theme. If you have a hard time dealing with your health, health is your life theme. If you had a difficult over drinking or going on a diet, losing weight, that is your life theme. The hardest time of your life usually has the biggest gift in your life. So if you have some kind of experiences or a strong calling, for me, creating peace is super important because the nightmare of all my families are wiped out by this monster money is still haunts me. So my quest started when I was, that young, 8 or 9, when I saw my father crying. That is my that is the beginning. That's why I have so much passion to save my family and save potential families from killing themselves. So just find a unique path. It's your path. And if you just find who you are, you'll find the theme, and then you have so much inspiration to write. Because motivation is not enough. Motivation will take you to a certain place, but it's not high enough. Inspiration is the infinite source of energy. If you feel inspired to share about your health or love or relationships or work or sales, and if you just keep talking till 3 o'clock in the morning and just more, that's your passion. So write anything that you feel passionate about, and then people will feel the passion from the books. And then I think without you thinking again, you cannot stop writing your books. And your books is your soul. So if your soul speaks, people listen.
Yeah, so very true. And so to not hold you hostage here the whole evening, I have one more question, then I'll turn it over to Peter to close
Mhm.
this up here. So the question is, how do you find your balance in life and get inner peace with you and your money? Good question, Christian.
It's a very, very good question. I'm still working on it. I'm not 100% peaceful with money yet. Sometimes I'm worried about money, not too personal, but I'm just I feel like I have enough for my family and my friends, but I don't have enough to save the world. So I feel very small when I think of the world, the global problem. So you know, every day I'm trying to find my center. As much as I love sharing and as much as I love giving, I have to find a border with other people and also with the society. So I have to find my personal space and find peace. Otherwise, I'll be torn apart. So finding peace with yourself is the most important thing. And then if you are filled with love and passion, what would you do? So that is my question to you. And if you are filled with enough security, love, and passion, there must be something that you love to do. So if you start doing it, I think um, people will just support your back. So that is something I want you to come up with. And just in this chaotic time, that's the only way you can go through, because it's so crazy and people are reacting out of fear. So people may blame you, criticize you, and then you may have a hard time dealing with it. But I think that's life, and it's going to be more intense.
Absolutely. Peter, you're there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I'm just listening quietly because it's a lot of knowledge, and I'm taking some notes. So I'm doing my notes. Uh, you know, I I feel like like there's so much of it, and I know that we can go on this subject on and on. You wrote 50 books, so I'm assuming that your knowledge about the subject and about all this, I would say, understanding of perception of the money that you have is totally different. And there's a reason I'm thinking that the book became so famous, because it helped us to change our perspective, which we kind of been embedded for so many years. And I just have like a small question with this one. We don't want to hold you, like Tony said, but I want to ask you, what is gonna be your advice, or how is gonna be, if you have a certain strategy that it helps people to start gradually to change this perspective of money, to change it from sad money to happy money, and what is gonna be your guidelines towards that, movement to say.
Thank you. It's not a small question, Peter. I think it's a big question, but I think you can start small. Start appreciating your money coming in and going out. By appreciating your money coming in and going out, you start appreciating your life. And if you start appreciating what you have, you're going to have less fear. And if you have less fear, you feel more happy. And also you have more passion, because fear, unfortunately, takes much of our space. So if you let go or melt your fear, more passion and love will come in. And with more love and passion, you can help more. You can help yourself more, and you can help other people more. So by doing so, I think your financial situation also changes as well. I have helped millions of people in Japan, and I'm helping hundreds of thousands of people in English-speaking world, and I'm getting all the results from my readers for the past year. I feel so honored to read every one of them, and the most reaction I get is, I never thought of that. I never thought that way, is the first thought. I never thought money as energy. Is this a good energy coming in and going through, or is this bad energy coming in and going through? So if you just open your eyes and open your heart and feel what's happening in the world, you realize that you can feel in more love and less fear. By doing so, you'll be more fulfilled. And if you become happier, happier people will be attracted to you. And if you have a lot of abundance mentality, more happy, abundant people will show up in your life. It's a fun game. So please enjoy it.
Definitely will do so. Uh, where people can find you, and if you have any announcement for us, like when the next book is coming, and how we
Mhm.
can catch up with all your books, where we can find you, we'll be more than happy to share it, and so people they can follow you.
Thank you. Thank you. My information is found at kenhonda.com, K-E-N, kenhonda, Honda is in a car.com. And you can watch all the interviews somewhere on YouTube. And I will start just creating some kind of a free course online, probably in a few months. So if you registered in my email database, we'll just let you know. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to announce a Happy Money giveaway, thing that whoever wants a copy, I'm going to send a copy to you for Christmas gift. I think it's so important at this time to start sharing what I have and what I know. And I think sharing the Happy Money idea is a perfect thing that I can do. So I'm going to donate 10,000 physical books, which cost you $20. I will give it away. So please register on my system, and I'll just keep you updated. And meanwhile, I'm going to translate some of the books, how to find gifts and how to monetize them. And I'm happy to share sometime next year. And meanwhile, just stay safe and stay happy. And I'm so, once again, thank you so much for everybody, Tony, Peter, and everybody. I see a lot of beautiful smiles, and I can imagine faces behind the screen and just pray everyone of happiness every day from now.
Thank you, sir. Very, very inspiring. You know, so much wisdom. Thank you for taking of your time to be with us tonight. I imagine you're busy and have a million things going on. So super, super appreciated. I'm gonna watch this many times over because there's so many golden nuggets in here. So I thank you so much.
We're gonna share this. We're gonna share this video forward with our group. We're gonna post it on YouTube so everybody gonna know about this and to be able to reach you out. And we're looking forward to see you again. And hopefully, this is gonna be gone away. And maybe one day we're gonna meet in person and share some thoughts. Thank you.
Yes, I love the day. Will come soon. Okay, thank you, everybody. Stay stay safe.
Thank you very much.
I love you all. Bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming and participating, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. And please share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.